On behalf of all assembled here today, I should now like to invite our newest alumna, Dr. Ilse Treurnicht, to address Convocation.
Good afternoon. Chancellor, President Chakma, colleagues on the platform party, and most importantly, graduates, along with all of your family, friends, and fans assembled here today. First of all, I want to extend my warmest personal congratulations to each one of you, members of the graduating class. I'm truly humbled to be part of this occasion with you. And I'm deeply grateful to the President and the Senate for inviting me to join you as a Western University graduate. Today, we, are joining literally thousands of Western alumni who have already gone out and made a difference in every imaginable walk of life and every corner of the globe since the founding of this great university in 1878. Your accomplishments will further strengthen and augment the reputation and the impact of your alma mater. But of course, this milestone event in your education has brought back many memories for me. My first graduation, as you heard, 1976, Stellenbosch University, a place you've probably never heard of. Stellenbosch is among the most beautiful small university towns in the world, cradled between mountains on the southern tip of Africa. But the beauty of that sunny afternoon was deceptive. The mood was very, very different from what we have here today. Resistance to South Africa's oppressive apartheid system had come in waves over the course of 2 decades. And those waves, in turn, had been brutally repressed. In 1976, riots broke out in the segregated slum city of Soweto and rapidly spread across the country. Black students were rebelling against an educational system designed to reinforce segregation and limit their opportunities. Massive school boycotts rocked the nation. It was truly the year when my homeland began to seriously confront its history. Sadly, it would take 15 more years before apartheid crumbled and Nelson Mandela took his long walk to freedom. I couldn't wait that long or continue living in a country where the color of your skin defined who you were and what your future would hold. So as you heard, after completing a doctorate in the UK, I arrived here at Western for a postdoc in chemistry. My first task was to survive the winter. It turns out that those 2 years fundamentally shaped the way my life would unfold. Because sometimes you only clearly see the forks in the road when you look backwards. First, I married that Canadian, a boy from Woodstock, Ontario, who brought me here. And we raised our 4 children together and recently sat as proud parents in this hall. Second, I deepened my love of science, but I also recognized that my interest was more in the application of science in society, which led to a career in business and innovation rather than academia. And third, I completely fell in love with Canada. After South Africa, of course, I admired the strong and vibrant democratic traditions and institutions of this country, but above all, I was in awe of this living laboratory of diversity, social cohesion, resilience, and creativity. So you will understand then why I feel so fortunate to have made Canada my home for the past 30 years. And I count these blessings not for sentimental reasons, but as a reminder of where they place you and all of us among our fellow travelers on this hot and crowded planet. To be more precise, today you are graduating in science from a great Canadian university at a very auspicious moment. A moment when the world needs more science and the world needs more Canada. The hard reality is that the world into which you are graduating is faster moving, more complex, and in many ways more precariously balanced than at any other point in human history. In South Africa in 1976, the change ahead was pretty obvious, the march of history on its side. But from this vantage point in London, Ontario, change, disruption, sometimes seems hard to grasp. But we all also know that change and disruption present enormous opportunities and require extraordinary leadership. And your generation will lead us through the final transition from the industrial economy of a previous century and into the knowledge and innovation economy of this century. And science, in all its forms, will be integral to that transition. And your education at a first-class research university gives you a great head start to make your contribution to that really important generational effort. And furthermore, when so much of the world seems to have turned onto a darker path, Canada has remained a global beacon of freedom, of inclusiveness, and of civility. So a Canadian university degree gives you both advantages and responsibilities to make a positive difference in the world, here, at home, or abroad. And the world will both welcome you and expect much of you. Now at this point, according to a time-honored tradition, the convocation speaker is supposed to offer the graduating class some wise advice. Not feeling particularly wise, let me just give you 3 brief observations grounded in my long experience. I am, after all, most likely the oldest person graduating here today. Number 1, stay open and stay curious. You may already have a pretty clear hypothesis of how your life should unfold, or sit here with absolutely no idea what's next. Either way, your career will take some unexpected twists and turns. Don't resist. The sidetracks often yield the most interesting insights and the best results. I certainly would never have guessed in 1976 that I'd be here with you today. The good news is, life has a funny way of working out. Number 2, fall in love with the question, not your answer. There's lots of talk these days about following your passion. Well, passion is easy. Purpose is hard. Passion is about ideas and excitement. Purpose is about execution, follow-through, moving the needle. So find a problem that you really care about, and then put your talents and your knowledge and your heart to work developing solutions. Join or build coalitions to tackle problems worth solving. The important ones require coalitions. None of us can solve them on our own. And number 3, which makes me sound really old, be a long-term investor in the experiment of your life. Because from this vantage point, life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Make smart and patient use of your most important non-renewable resource, your waking hours. I emphasize patience because it's a pretty good bet that many of you will live more than 100 years. And nothing really worthwhile happens instantly. So it's better to focus instead on the things with enduring value, and among them, the most important asset is the quality of people in your immediate circle. So choose your traveling companions wisely and with a view of a long road ahead. There it is. I'm done with advice. But let me close with one brief, quite simple observation informed by that last point and by these polarizing times. Looking back, I've had a wacky and wonderful journey from one end of the planet to the other. And I've been struck along the way by the happy reality that the overwhelming majority of people I have encountered are good, kind, and generous. And crystallizing that goodness, that kindness, and that generosity is how we shape the future we all want. But it's also the way we do our best work, and it is how we assemble a rewarding life filled with magical moments. And I sincerely hope that today's graduation will be just such a magical moment for you and for your family and friends. I again thank Western University and the graduating classes of 2017 for letting me share this occasion with you. My warmest congratulations and my very best wishes for the magnificent adventures that lie ahead. Thank you.